What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another gifted video. That's right. As you can see from the thumbnail, the West is going insane right now. The Clippers, the Warriors, the Lakers, and the Pelicans are in a four-way battle for positioning in terms of trying to make the playoffs as a six seed and not being in the play-in, which are seeds 7 through 10. So for me, it's very interesting to see this battle and see exactly how things happen. I'm very disappointed though, because yesterday was a big day of basketball. We saw the Timberwolves lose to the Pelicans in a heartbreaker last possession where Kyle Anderson catches the ball in the corner, jab steps, and shoots the ball out of bounds, and they lose. You saw Golden State go into Denver on the road with no Nikola Jokic and absolutely put up one of the biggest choke jobs of this year for that team, and they lose. Clay and Steph go 8 for 25, 8 for 27, just all bad on that front. The Lakers beat the almighty Houston Rockets, and they're able to cement their seeding to go up as a seven seed. So right now things are very very competitive, and also the Clippers uh, beat the Pelicans. No, sorry, the Pelicans beat the Clippers. So now their seeding is also in jeopardy. So there's a lot of crazy things for how the season is going to conclude. The schedule of what is remaining is going to really dictate what teams do what. A lot of these teams, if they want to stay where they're at, Golden State, Clippers in particular, have to essentially win out the rest of their schedule. The Clippers play the Lakers in a humongous game in the next coming days, and if the Lakers take that, I'm pretty sure that the Clippers will fall low. They don't have a lot of tiebreakers with the other teams below them, so they could potentially fall deep into the play-in if they lose that game. Golden State, on the other hand, they have a decent schedule, but they have not shown consistency on the road, and I'm pretty sure they still have at the very least one road game. For me as a fan, I just want them to get their stuff together because I'm gonna be real with you. This team is not winning a championship without Andrew Wiggins. That's fine, but you also cannot be losing games like this late in the season. And me personally, it's a bit too late for this team to like have this like crazy epiphany that we can't lose these games and we're a championship team. It's too late for that. You have to prove who you are at this point of the season when you've been struggling this badly. At some point, you have to go on a run and win six or seven straight. It's too late for that now, but to lose that game was just embarrassing. Like this team had a great shot to get closer to the four seed, put pressure on the Suns to have to win out, and now it's looking like the Suns are gonna probably stay where they're at, and Golden State could potentially stay where they're at, which technically it's a more favorable matchup to play the Kings than the Suns, but again, I really don't respect the grind of like losing games on purpose to find a more favorable matchup. In my opinion, if you're a championship team and you're really of that caliber, you play who's in front of you and you try to win, because teams that have tried that positioning nonsense before have put themselves in situations where if they had just outright matched up, a potential injury in the playoffs wouldn't have impacted them, right? So I don't know. It's it's a weird vibe for me. Twitter is going to be very toxic because again, I think Warriors fans can be very, very frustrating and annoying. I don't think it's the entire fan base, but there's definitely some toxic Warrior fans. So when we lose, everyone's gonna be happy, and I get that. But for me, as just like a basketball watcher who is also a Warriors fan, I just want the team to be better. This is really unacceptable play to lose on the road to a team of that caliber. And now the Lakers are literally like one game behind us, so now it's like a race to see who finishes. Because remember, Golden State does not have the tiebreaker. So if we tie with the Lakers in terms of record, we will fall to the play-in. And I don't want to see this Warriors team in the play-in, because if they fall to 8 or 9, they have to play road games and single game elimination. And then on top of that, the rest after the play-in is brutal because you play literally the day after the play-in concludes for the most part, and that can make things very challenging. So I think that this season has been crazy. I'm very excited to see what it has been, but there's a lot of work to do for these teams that are actively trying to win the championship. I legitimately can't tell you who's going to win, because if you told me that the Lakers, the Warriors, even the Kings, like the Nuggets, if you told me that all these teams would go to the conference finals or go to the finals, I can't tell you that you're wrong, because every team, for the most part this season, has either played really well or has had a clear flaw, or there's something in their construction that makes you think that this team can't win a championship, or it's harder to win a championship. So the playoffs are going to show us a lot about what wins out, the current look of these teams, or if these teams hit switches in the playoffs again. We don't know. We don't know. And then in the Eastern Conference, things are a bit more locked up. So that is going to more so come down to like the top three teams. In the West, it's quite literally like five or six teams that all have shots. The Suns have not lost a game since Kevin Durant has suited up for their team when he's been on the floor. So they're also trying to make their runs. It's just such a confusing situation right now in the Western Conference. But hey, I'm here for it. Like, this is probably the most parity that the league has seen in the last decade. Been a real up and down season, but I'm happy. And again, for me as a Warriors fan, I guess you hold out hope for Andrew Wiggins returning, and I guess you hope that this team at some point flips a switch in the playoffs. I don't believe that this team deserves grace, though. So, like, if you say that the Warriors could potentially be a first round exit, I'm not gonna laugh at you, because what have they shown consistently this season to make you think, okay, this team is a lock for the championship? They haven't shown that, and I think you have to pay respect to that when it comes down to evaluating the teams in the conference, because it's hard. Like, this is a transitional period for the NBA, and a lot of people don't want to talk about that. But you essentially have the older, phased out superstars on teams that are not like top three in their conference, and then you have the younger teams who are new, gaining experience, getting better, and are going to be the future of the NBA. And the question is, who wins this year based on that? Because we understand that the future is moving forward to these teams and these stars, but the old guys that have proven it, that have won at the highest level, that quite literally won last year, is here. So it's like, who do you go with? Who do you trust? And that's what I'm gonna be looking forward to the most in the playoffs. So I can't wait. I don't want to make this too long of a video, but last night's loss was super embarrassing. So I wanted to record it and at least talk about it, because the way this can close out, it wouldn't surprise me if you see the Lakers finish as the 5 seed, if the Warriors ultimately take home the sixth, or if the Warriors fall to the play in or the Clippers fall to the play in. Like, it's going to be a very big race. And the fact that the Pelicans are still alive in this without Zion shows you the heart of that team to be fighting back and winning their game. So it's do or die basketball right now. Like, these are playoff games, because you're playing for positioning to make the playoffs, and you want to make the playoffs at bare minimum. So to me, like, all these games are basically simulations of what you're gonna see in the playoffs, which is what makes Golden State loss to a Denver team without Jokic so disheartening. Because it's like, these are the most important games of the season, and you're trolling. Like, you're not putting forth the effort that you do at home. You're not playing at the highest level. So for me, it's frustrating as a fan watching it, but I have to say, I respect it. Like, I want to see, teams have to fight through that hump, fight through that adversity. And I think there's a lot of teams that have something to prove. Like, this is a title or bust season for not just the Warriors, but all these other teams, like the Lakers and the Clippers. The teams that have older cores, you got to prove it this year. Because if you lose again, you're leaving it to chance with teams that are younger, teams that are getting better, getting more experience, and getting more established. And nothing is guaranteed from season to season, especially with how the Western Conference is looking like right now with all the cores from 1 through 12. Like, next year, OKC, who is currently a 10th seed playing team, next year, OKC could legitimately be a top six lock based on their roster. how well they're coached and how good the players are going to get, especially with Chet Holmgren coming back. So there's a lot at stake here this year, and high stakes basketball is always the most enjoyable basketball there is to watch. But I'm gonna leave it there. If you agree with some of my takes, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. But I gotta go to work, so I'm gonna dip on out. Peace out, people.